Hey guys, are you ready to go dig in? We've had our first frost and a freeze. It is time to go dig the roots up in the herb garden. So come on, let's go check it out. Okay, so here we are with our first herb. And what today's video is going to be about is really just talking about all about the roots, using the herb garden for its medicine. And it's time to go ahead and dig the roots, because what the frost and the freeze is signaling to the plant, and not all plants need to be rooted up, but some do. But what the frost and freeze is doing is telling the plant that, hey, we're done. We need to send all of its properties that have been shooting up into flowers or stalks and leaves and all that stuff to go concentrate down into those roots. And then that's where we get to benefit from these specific herbs that you like to go ahead and use the roots for as well. So this first one here is called comfrey. It's also known as bone knit. And it kind of speaks its name. It knits bones together, which sounds kind of weird, but so you just use it externally, and it's great for sprains and, bruises. Whenever I pull something right now, I feel a little stressed out, and I can feel my anxiety going on, and I can feel it right here in my back. So I have comfrey root tincture that I've already made before that I've sprayed on there, and then that is going to really help. So I really like using comfrey for those type of things. It is a massive root that can spread a lot. This is my third year, and it's been here. It has these beautiful white bell-shaped flowers that all the pollinators really like to go in, especially the bumblebees, because they can get their cute little butts up in that flower. So I had to dig very hard for this particular root to find enough, and I got a couple chunks like this out. And all the roots you'll see me digging out at the end of the video. I'm not fancy with this stuff where I can overlay all this fancy stuff and you can see it. It is what it is. I am me, just trying to share and inspire stuff on my homestead here in northern Michigan. So you will see some of that chaos of me trying to dig out all the roots at the end and how I keep track of all the stuff. So first root that we did was, there's Ollie. Oliver. It was comfrey. And again, I dug a couple good chunks of root out, and I'm going to go ahead and make that into a tincture or a salve. I do find that the tincture works better for healing things like muscle pulls and stuff like that, and muscle spasms, but better than the salve. But it's a tincture, it's cold, it sprays, it's liquid, and it kind of drips places. So the salve is more easily available to put it on, right? But you can do it in both. I have both as well, just in case. So let's check out the next one. Okay, guys, the next root that we are going to be talking today about is dandelion root. Now, this is my herb garden. Dandelions are everywhere, right? So you can pull them anywhere. Make sure you are safely pulling them from areas that haven't been sprayed with any chemicals. Sides of the roads are terrible to harvest any type of herb, so don't do that. So definitely, it has a lot of weeds in this herb garden. We've put down a lot of wood chips that has helped tremendously, but there are some beautiful dandelions that I was able to go ahead and harvest the roots. And so I'm very thankful for that. So, I don't need them in here. There's plenty out in my yard. So I went ahead and pulled, there's about 10 or 12 of them. So what dandelion root is good for is basically like detoxing. So this is what it is. So sometimes they have long tap roots. Sometimes they're short and small. We got all of these right here that we're going to go ahead and utilize. So this is really good for detoxing your liver and your gallbladder and stuff like that, just to keep things flushing out. I think it's an herb that you don't really want to do a massive amount on. I dropped one. Massive amount on, and keep doing it over and over. So you can either take these roots right here, you can make them into a tincture, you can take them and make them into a tea. So all kinds of different stuff. I think some people might even roast them for a coffee type of thing. I just go ahead and put it in a tincture, and then I use the tincture when I feel like I need to go ahead and just, get some things cleaned out and stuff. So I really like dandelions. And the great thing about dandelions is that they're about everywhere, right? Everyone hates them in the cities, and they spray them and they spray their lawns, but you can make cookies out of them. They are healing for you. It's amazing. So, leave them in. I get that you don't want weeds everywhere in moderation, but learn how to appreciate what God has given us, and even the beautiful yellow that you can see early in the spring when nothing else is blooming, at least up here. So we were going to head and utilize these. Okay, next up on our herb root garden digging tour is Ella Campaign. This is a new one for me, actually, which reminds me, if you guys are interested in any type of herbs or do anything like that, getting started with stuff, best thing to do is do a little bit of, when you hear somebody talk about an herb and say, hey man, I could really use that in my life, that sounds like a really good thing. Do a little bit of research going, yep, that sounds good to me. Then get the plant or seeds and get them started, because it takes several years, especially for a root type of one that we want to go ahead and use as medicine. It takes several years for you to actually go in and harvest. So if something sounds cool to you and you want to learn more about it, start with the plant, get it going in your herb garden, in a pot, whatever you need to do. So then you can do research over, really build up exactly what all these things do. So you don't have to be an expert in everything or right off the bat. I'm a person who basically just jumps in and then I learn along the way. That's how things get cemented more in my brain, and maybe you're like that too. So this is Ella Campaign. I heard it from the Homesteading family. I thought that sounds cool. I want to go ahead and partake in such wonderful things. It had beautiful yellow flowers on here. This is its 3rd year here for this particular one that finally flowered. So I was like, finally, I can actually go ahead and harvest the root. So I was able to get some of the roots out and dug up. And Ella Campaign is good for respiratory, like bronchitis and asthma and stuff like that. Remember, I'm not a doctor. I'm not giving advice for anyone else. But I wanted to go ahead and utilize this one because, winter's coming. You never know what's going to hit with the family and kids. So I like to have a lot of stuff on hand. So I need to get this tinctured up because it takes at least a month for the tincture to get going. And then I like to go 6 weeks and longer like that. So I was thankful that these yellow beauties showed up and I was able to get some of the root from Ella Campaign. Okay, guys, no herbal garden is complete without echinacea. It's a beautiful purple coneflower. That's its fun name, purple coneflower. It's easy. You can see them out in the wild, in the fields, and anything like that. I purposely have been growing them for several years as well. I do pick off the beautiful heads, which is right here. Excuse me. So I will pick these right here. Look how beautiful it is. This is the last one and it's almost done. And it's not that pretty looking, is it? But so when they are nice and pretty and full, I go ahead and pluck them after I let the bumblebees get a lot of the pollen from in here. There's a lot of nectar and good stuff that they can kind of partake in. So I will let them go. And when they still look pretty, I go ahead and pluck them off. And I use them for teas and my Homestead tea. And I love it. And because there is some beneficial in the actual flowers and stuff like that. There's some argument, I think, with some people, maybe what's better or not. I think the root definitely has more concentration, everything, but this is really pretty and it works really good. So I will literally just pluck a whole head. I don't have to drop it, throw it around, into my tea when I mix it with some other things. But today we're refocused, Laura. We're talking about the roots. So again, another one that you have to let grow for several years so you can go ahead and get the root. Now, of course, you could harvest anything on its first year, maybe, but then you're not most likely going to get that plant to come back and grow for you next year. So why would we want to do that? Just be patient. Go. You can use the flowers to make a tincture. That's what I did the first couple of years. And now I'm going to go ahead and make an echinacea root tincture, which is great. So we're just harvesting some of the roots. We're going to clean off all the roots, and then we're going to chop them up and put them in I use organic vodka. But we'll talk about that in just a little bit when I summarize everything. So echinacea, another wonderful root to harvest after you've had a freeze or a frost. And I forgot to mention what echinacea was good for. My bad. It's really, I use it for all around immune boosting type of stuff. So I feel like it's safe and I just use it all the time for immune beneficial compounds and nutrients and all the good stuff. So the next one we are talking about is this guy right here. Anybody guess what it is? Marshmallow. This was very large. I actually did not harvest from this root, which looks like I need to because it's getting a little crazy and out of control. But I was starting to dig from it. It's very, very into the ground. And I bumped my hand into my stinging nettles. This whole hand got a lot of stinging action going on. It's like, you know what? There are some little smaller ones that are in this pathway over here that I was like, they need to go anyways. So I went and dug those suckers up. So it worked out. Now, marshmallow I use for two things. One, I actually like to make marshmallows with it. So I follow a simple recipe from Farmhouse Teas. Her name is Cian, I think, from Farmhouse Teas. She's got how to make homemade marshmallows. And you can use any homemade marshmallow recipe, and then you add in a little bit of actual marshmallow root. It doesn't really set the marshmallows like a gelatin does or anything like that, but you're adding in that extra benefit from the marshmallow root itself. And I will even add in the springtime stinging nettles. I'll make the homemade marshmallows because that's a really good one for antihistamine. And then I'll plop in a marshmallow to my coffee. I'm using that Taboo raw milk and our maple syrup from here from the Homestead, and a homemade marshmallow. It is so good, like so good. So anyways, I love that stuff. So marshmallow is good for I hope I say this right, mucilage. So you got mucus, it helps break it up and get rid of it. So marshmallow, mucilage, and then so that's a really good one. And so I will go ahead and I haven't done this one yet, I don't think. So I will tincture this up, and just to make sure I have some on hand in case things, again, if I need to get rid of junk and I need it to get out, I will use this. And I will also chop up a lot of the root to put in my marshmallows for all winter long, just for fun, for funsies. So back behind this right here, this is actually bee balm here, but this is not the root. I use that for flowers, and I use that for my face cream. Back here is valerian root. New one to me as well because I needed it. It takes several years again. So finally, I was able to go ahead and harvest valerian root. Now, valerian root is really good for anxiety. And eases things like that, some tension, like I've got that going on, right? And it also helps with sleepiness. It makes you sleepy. So valerian root, it has a really cool smell. Like I really enjoyed the smell. So I'm really excited to tincture that up. And I was just reading out of the Homestead's book, the Beekeeper's Apothecary, about how the tincture is really tasty. And sometimes tinctures are not always so tasty. But, you got to do what you got to do and take them. So I'm looking forward to tincturing that valerian root up. So again, had to wait. Got to be patient with this stuff. Trying to find some shade so I can. Okay, guys, so let's wrap up what we are talking about in the herb garden. So first of all, you want to go ahead and make sure you are learning the herbs that you are going to be using, right? So do some initial research. Does it sound like it's something that you and your family want to go ahead and use? Then go ahead and get the plants or the seeds started that next spring or whatever time you're watching this video, because gosh only knows with the algorithm. And then get them planted, wait several years. I know it's so hard. And then go ahead and then start harvesting the roots of some of these medicines that we have been in the herbs that we've been talking about, which are very powerful and very helpful. Of course, you can always go and buy the herbs as well. It is a lot more economical to buy a bag of good organic herbs. Azure Standard has a lot. Frontier Co-op, I like those guys as well. Mountain Sweet Rose, yes, I think it's called Mountain Rose Herbs has also a great selection of clean herbs. So you can buy a bag of any of the herbs, then make your own kind of tincture. And I use the folk method is what it's called, where you're basically taking the herb, putting it into a glass jar, covering it with organic vodka. Of course, you don't have to be organic vodka, but I am a prude for a reason, right? So So you can do that option as well. So you don't have to be super impatient about that. You can go ahead and start with any of these herbs on your own. Just do some research, see if it seems good for you, figuring out some dosage. I will leave some resource links down below for where I would purchase the herbs from, because I have done that before for sure. And then also some links for a couple of books that I really, really enjoy and learn a lot from. And then also I just have a very simple downloadable ebook as well. I have one I'll link for free, and it's just for, it's kind of like I say for kids, but it's kind of cool for a couple others, you know, for anybody really who's listening. And then there's also, I just have like an introduction to herbs and building your own apothecary from my site as well, if you're interested. Just some resources so you guys can keep learning. If you guys have any questions about the amazing world of herbs, go ahead and post a comment. I appreciate you being here with me, hanging out, listening to me. Hope you learned a little bit of something, got intrigued about one of the herbs to go look and do, and just, you know, be able to use that, what God has given us with his beautiful medicine and these awesome, amazing things that he has given us. So again, if you have questions, I would love to hear from you. Any kind of comment, well, let's keep it nice, people. I would love to hear a comment. That really helps the algorithm and all that social media stuff. And so I hope you feel inspired to go learn an herb today. So see you guys later.
Stay there. Stay there.